their Disney CGI live action adaptation was bad. Who would have thought? She's kind of like the cool aunt, if you will. She gives them alcohol. I mean, not saying I would ever do that as an aunt, never ever. Don't worry if any of my siblings are watching this, I would never do that to your kids. Joke's on you, literally joke's on you for thinking that only one movie would make me cry this year. Hey y'all, welcome to a new video. In case you missed it, the last video that I just posted was a mid-year book freakout tag, and I did that tag last year where you just kind of get to the middle of the year, you talk about the books that you've read so far, your favorites, what's disappointed you, the books you're excited for the last half of the year. And then after I did that last year, I thought I'm gonna do it for movies too, because this is a movies and book channel. Like, I talk about both on here. And so I just literally regurgitated the same questions from the mid-year book freakout tag and made it a mid-year movie freakout tag. And I'm gonna do the same thing this year, okay? Welcome to 2025. It's the middle of the year. We're gonna talk about the movies that I've seen so far from 2025. I'm gonna get into what I am anticipating for the last half of the year. We are currently experiencing the hottest summer of all time, so I do have a fan in front of me. If you can hear that, I apologize for the noise, but it's really freaking hot. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go through the questions and talk about some great 2025 releases that I've seen this year. I am going to try and stick with just 2025 releases, and then the last question I'm going to talk about 2024 releases that I still haven't watched yet that I would like to watch by the end of this year. So this is sincerely just 2025 movies. It's not movies that I've been watching all throughout this year from different years. It's just 2025. All right, question number one is favorite movie you've seen this year. At number one, I have Plainclothes. This is from Carmen Emmy. I saw this at Sundance, and I have not heard anything about a theatrical release yet, but you guys, I need it. I need it ASAP. I need more people to watch this movie. It is a fantastic movie starring Tom Blythe, who I saw most recently before this in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the last Hunger Games movie that came out. He was President Snow, and I just fell in love with him. I really did. And Plainclothes is amazing, okay? It is actually based off of a New York Times article that the director had seen about these policemen who were watching over this bathroom in a public mall that had been known kind of in the gay community for gay men to go and find other gay men to kind of hook up with. And so what they were doing is these policemen were staking out the area in plain clothes, kind of like looking at these men who might be these gay men who were going to this bathroom. They would kind of lure them into these bathrooms, get them to expose themselves, and then NYPD hands up, arrest them there on the spot, right? So the director saw this story and decided to just kind of add to it, and he created this whole story about a police officer who is doing this. He is a plainclothes officer at this bathroom at this mall trying to find these men to expose themselves to him. He ends up falling in love with one of the men that he is set to arrest, expose, whatever. This man never does that in the bathroom, but Tom Blythe's character, I believe his name is Lucas, he just completely like falls in love with this man. It's really a story about self-discovery, coming into oneself, coming of age even. The ending of the movie is just wonderful. The whole movie is just, it feels very nostalgic, very old school. It feels very like 90s home video in a way. I had such a great time watching it, and I really hope it gets a theatrical release this year so that more people can be watching it, because I had a great time watching it. I burst into tears at the end, and that's all I need to know about if a movie is good or not. In second place, I have Sinners from Ryan Coogler. This was the summer movie of the summer, okay? Summer just barely started, and I'm a little upset that this movie still isn't in theaters, making its rounds with, you know, 8 screenings a day at least, and IMAX screening once a day, please. Hopefully it comes back for the summer, because it felt like the most summer movie. Okay, we have our two main characters. They are twins, Smoke and Stack, and they are coming back to kind of their roots, okay, a hometown, if you will. They're coming back to throw this big party. They've come into a lot of money, they've come into a lot of alcohol, and they wish to just spruce up this barn and invite all of their old friends, all of their old lovers into this area and just have like a great time, right? Wrong, because guess what? White people show up. Isn't that how it always goes? Okay, no, literally, these Irish people show up, and they're just kind of like, hey, can we come in and join? Like, we want to dance with you guys. This is a predominantly black town, a segregated side of the town. Everyone who has been invited to this party at this barn is just having a great time, okay? There is a very high emphasis on music, and black music in particular. Like, you know, okay, if you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the barn scene. It was just done so well, incredibly engaging. I felt like I was lifting out of my seats in the theater. There is a horror element to this movie having to do with vampires that I just ate up. Okay, it was so funny as well. Like, there is such good comedic timing in this movie. The cast was amazing. Michael B. Jordan, like, oh my god. Wonmi Musako played Annie, and that was my other favorite character. Jamie Lawson playing Perlene. Oh my god, I never wanted to be a girl so bad in my life. There's so many historical elements in this movie. For instance, there is an Asian family that lives in the town, and they have a store on the white side of the town and on the black side of the town because it is a very segregated town, like I said. Like, the husband and wife own both of these supermarkets, but of course white people won't shop where black people shop at this point in time. And it was cool to see depicted, like, on screen, these stories of these Asian immigrants who would come to these segregated towns because it was a great way for business. There has to be a supermarket in town, and Asian immigrants just totally found a way to make a way of life in America by coming to these segregated towns. The end of the movie is extremely memorable. The movie takes so many twists and turns. Like, it's not just what you think it is. It's not just like a really hot vampire flick. Like, no, there's so much more to it. And Ryan Coogler, I mean, he's just an amazing director. Like, we've been knew that. And then I did have a third place winner. It's going to be Twinless from James Sweeney. This was another Sundance film that I got to see, starring the love of my life, Dylan O'Brien. I truly wish for you to go into this movie blind. Like, I don't want to give you too much information, and I fear that once the trailer for this movie drops, because I think it has a theatrical release date sometime in September, if I'm remembering correctly, sometime in the fall. But I just know that this trailer is going to give up so much information, and I went into this movie completely blind because it's Sundance. Like, I'll read the 1 sentence, 2 sentence little synopsis that's there, but I won't go into depth of knowing what this movie's about because it's never been premiered before. Like, no one knows what to expect, right? Oh my god, this movie was so good. It's about a boy, a man who has recently lost a twin, and he starts seeking kind of like a group therapy for people who have lost their other twin. So it's like a support system for twins, right? And he meets this man who's also played by James Sweeney. James Sweeney is the writer, director, and the co-star in this movie. And he meets this man, just becomes friends with him, and just like so much gets revealed from there. Like, I really wish I could tell you more about the story, but if you can go into Twinless blind, you will be so happy that you did, because I was gasping, I was gagged, and I was gooped watching this movie. I loved it so much, and I can't wait for more people to watch it and freak out about it. Freak out about Dylan O'Brien with me. Please, I need someone else to do this with. Question number 2 is best sequel / series continuation you've seen. I have not seen a lot. Like, you could argue, you know, Thunderbolts, it's a Marvel movie, it's a series continuation in a way. But I wrote down Ballerina from Ken Wiseman. This is part of the John Wick universe. I love the John Wick movies, and Ballerina didn't disappoint. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's better than any of the John Wick movies, because it's definitely not. Like, I saw Mission Impossible. Sorry, but Ballerina is definitely the action movie of the year, okay? No offense to Mission Impossible whatsoever, but Ballerina just has that, okay? It's high stakes, great fight scenes, great weapons. Ana de Armas is amazing. There's so many great fight scenes in this movie. She fights a lot of women, she fights a lot of men, and I like to see that distinction, because John Wick doesn't really give us that. Like, I know he fights women in his movies, but it usually is just a bunch of guys with guns coming after him. And with Ballerina, it seemed like there was really an emphasis and a goal that they had to make her fight more women than, you know, we've seen in the movies past. So this was definitely a great series continuation. I would watch any other like Ballerina adaptations, I would say, or like, you know, if there's like a sequel or whatever. Ana de Armas is definitely an actress of all time. Okay, looks aside, she was more than happy to do her stunts and work hard in this movie, and you can tell, like, it really does translate well on the screen how good her action gets. It was honestly a fun time. I saw it in Dolby, so the gunshots were super loud, but I loved it. Question number 3 is a new release you haven't seen yet but want to. The first one I have up here is The Phoenician Scheme from Wes Anderson. It's leaving the theaters this week. Like, we were looking over showtimes for this week, and I believe that Thursday is the last day that I'm gonna be able to watch it in theaters, so I can't miss that. I can't miss a Wes Anderson film in theaters. I don't think I've missed one since I literally started watching movies religiously, okay? I love Wes Anderson. He never, ever misses for me. I don't care how many movies he makes. I don't care how repetitive or how pretentious or overdone they are. I don't care. They're amazing, and I love watching them, and that's like singularly his craft, and he does it so well. And I love that he sticks with his guns and just keeps popping out these really fun, high cast, well casted, well acted, well directed, well written, just fun time movies that look great and are super aesthetically pleasing. The next new release that I haven't seen yet but I would love to before the year ends is going to be The Ugly Stepsister. This is from Emily Christine Bleachfeld. This is a Norwegian film. It's on Shudder, and it's listen, I love fairy tale movies, okay? I love fairy tale books. I love anything that has to do with fairy tales. And this is a play on the ugly stepsister from like Cinderella, I'm assuming, where she undergoes a lot of body modification to try to make herself look beautiful and be perfect and be like ready for the prince, you know? I know it's gonna be a lot of body horror. I've seen like one singular clip having to do with like eyes, like eyelids or eyelashes. I'm really scared. Like, I can't wait to watch this movie, but I know I'm gonna be cringing the whole entire time because body horror, I love it because it makes me so scared. It makes me so squeamish. Next, I have Dangerous Animals from Sean Brine. I don't know too much about this film. I have barely seen a trailer, like maybe 30 seconds of a trailer, but what I know about it is that this girl gets captured to become bait for a shark, maybe? Or some kind of underwater creature. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I haven't even seen a trailer for it, but I know it has to do with sharks and underwater and sea and horror. And those are like all my favorite things. So like, yeah, I'm gonna be really excited for Dangerous Animals. I missed it in theaters. It literally had like a 3-day run at my AMC. So I'm sure it'll be on Shudder within a week, or I don't know, Netflix maybe. And then the final movie I put down here is Pee-wee as Himself from Matt Wolf. This is a documentary on Paul Reubens, who's Pee-wee Herman. Love Pee-wee Herman to death. He was my childhood. He was my teenagehood. And I'm really excited to just hear from Paul Reubens. Like, I want to hear his story. And I actually did start it. I'm like 30 minutes into it. I haven't picked it up in like a couple of weeks, but the start is very strong. Okay, he's got an amazing personality. He's very hilarious. He seems very like meta about this documentary. Like, he doesn't understand that he can't control the documentary. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of contention between him and the director, which normally bothers me, but I don't know, it's working so far. Question 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. The first one I have is Die My Love from Lynn Ramsey. I'm actually not entirely sure when the release date for this is. It was shown at the Cannes Film Festival. I'll put the like release dates up here. I didn't think to write those down, so I'll just put them here on the screen. Hopefully this is released in 2025, like for normal audiences, for theatrical audiences. This stars Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson, and all I know is that she's feral and she goes crazy. It's called Die My Love. Apparently the reception at Cannes Film Festival was very positive, and I'm excited to see it. I mean, I heard some people walked out. I heard some people didn't have the time for it, which to me like kind of proves that I'm gonna have a great time for it. I've seen only one Lynn Ramsey film before. I believe it was the one with Joaquin Phoenix. I don't even remember the name of it. I honestly didn't like that one, but I would like to watch more of her movies before I see Die My Love, so I can just kind of get a vibe and like more expectations of what I'm going to get out of this film. But at the end of the day, I don't care. It's Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. Next, I have The Smashing Machine from Benny Safdie. This is, oh wait, I thought that this was the I thought this was the Timothée Chalamet like ping pong movie or something. No, The Smashing Machine. This is an A24 film coming out starring The Rock Johnson, John The Rock Johnson, I don't know what his name is, The Rock, okay, and Emily Blunt. This is the story of extreme fighter Matt Keir. He looks insane. Like, the trailer goes so hard. It's super gritty. It looks a little old school. I think that Emily Blunt is going to deliver like she always does. She's one of the greatest actresses of our time right now, I believe. And based on the trailer alone, I know I'm gonna love her performance, and I know I'm gonna love his performance. I love a fighting movie. I really do love fighting movies. Like the Iron Claw a couple years ago took the cake. That movie looked amazing and I loved watching it. I love Raging Bull. Like, I really love a fighting movie, and so I just know that this one is going to be really personal and like favorite to me. And then the final one I have for this question is One Battle After Another from Paul Thomas Anderson. Oh shit, I just looked this up. Okay, apparently it's inspired by a novel called Vineland from Thomas Pynchon? That's cool. Maybe I'll read the novel before I watch the movie. I don't know. But it's starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tiana Taylor, the love of my life. We also have Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall. Alana Hayam is making her second PTA debut. The premise just reads: when their evil enemy resurfaces after 16 years, a group of ex-revolutionaries reunites to rescue one of their own daughter. I have no expectations. Like, I truly have no idea what I'm going in for. Based on the trailer alone, I barely can pick up what we're putting down. Just knowing PTA, I know it's going to be a really fast-paced, well-actioned movie, and I don't know. I like everything he does. I actually, the first ever Watch a Criterion collection with me I did was a PTA, a Paul Thomas Anderson collection. I'll put that like in the link in the description below if you want to watch it. That was like a long time ago. But yeah, I definitely love PTA's movies, and I'm excited to see this next one from him. Question number 4 is biggest disappointment. Okay, another simple favor from Paul Feig. Listen, I didn't have high expectations and they were still squandered. This is a sequel to A Simple Favor, which was one of the first dates that my boyfriend and I ever went on, was to go see that movie, which is funny. So we were like, oh, we gotta watch the second one, obviously. What can I say about this movie? Anna Kendrick is amazing. Blake Lively is funny. And that's it. The movie is garbage though. Like, it really is so bad. I couldn't tell you what it's about. I couldn't, so we're gonna move on. The next one, ooh, this was a big disappointment. Death of a Unicorn from Alex Sharfman. I had such high expectations, mostly because I feel like unicorns are such untapped potential when it comes to film and even like books, like any kind of media. Like when it comes to fantastical creatures, unicorns, I never see things about them. So I was really excited to watch this movie. It's about a father and a daughter. They are very distant. They're played by Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd. They're on their way to meet with kind of his employers in a way. They're just kind of going over business. I don't even remember, honestly. But on their way, they hit a unicorn, and they find out with the help of these rich people that they are going to go visit for this business venture that this unicorn has, what do you think, magical powers. In fact, these magical powers are so good that they can cure cancer, they can cure illness, they make you feel amazing. Like, it's just like they feel like they have totally hit the jackpot from them running over this unicorn. So much so that they even go like searching for more unicorns. But guess what? Unicorns are very vengeful creatures. They are not to be messed with, and they come back for their revenge. This movie, like I said, I was disappointed in it, okay? I wanted to like it so bad, but I felt that the direction was just so unfortunately lacking. And I understand that this is a debut director, so I know it can only go up from here. Like, I have hopes for you, Alex. I'm not shitting on you, I promise. To me, this one just wasn't it, okay? Paul Rudd, I'd never seen him so badly directed in my life. Like, I could not stand his character, and not just for the things that his character was doing, just the way that he acted. I was literally like, I know you're better than this, bro. I know you are. I felt everyone to be slightly annoying. Like, the only good and fun comedic relief character, despite the fact that I felt like all of the characters were trying to be a comedic relief, was Will Poulter's character. He was like the son of the rich family. He actually had a lot of really good screen time. Everyone else just was trying too hard and not enough at the same time. It was so confusing, and it just ended up being a really bad theater experience for me, honestly. And then the final biggest disappointment was Lilo and Stitch from Dean Fleischer Camp, who surprised not me. Another Disney CGI live action adaptation was bad. Who would have thought? This one just, it didn't even need to do it. Like, it didn't need to do what it did. Like, the way that that movie ended, we simply could have taken Lilo and Stitch, the cartoon version from like 2002 or whatever. We could have taken that and completely step by step, frame by frame, recreated it, and it would have been so much better than what we got, because the changes that were made in this movie were just like, what were they, like, did they really think this was a good idea? I'm so serious, you guys. I did not have fun with it at all. Obviously, Nani was the worst part of the movie, not just for the choices that she makes, but for the actress herself. I was sincerely disappointed with the direction that they went in casting Nani. Like, I remember looking up to Nani so much as a kid, and this girl who played her, like, I'm not trying to shit on her. It's not necessarily her fault. It definitely is the casting director's fault. But like really, that's what we got? That's what we got as Nani? Oh my god, like, the spray tan was awful, guys. It was so bad. All right, question number 6 is biggest surprise. So I put down Thunderbolts from Jake Schreier. I don't know how to say that. This definitely surprised me. I had low expectations, like I do with every Marvel movie, and they were met exceedingly high, I will say. There's a lot of emphasis on mental health struggles, on depression, on anxiety, on feeling like you're not good enough, and what it takes to get back to your roots and to feel better again. I think that it's so important to remember that, like, you always have people in your corner. Like, even if you feel like you don't, there are those people that truly do care about you and will care for you in your time of need, and you just have to be vulnerable enough to approach them. And I think that that's so important to remember, honestly, and to put that into a Marvel movie, you know, like the biggest blockbuster of the year or whatever. Like, good for them, honestly. Really, I was surprised by it, and I had a good time watching it. Okay, so the other biggest surprise I had was the Virgin of the Quarry Lake from Laura Cassidy. This was another Sundance film. It's adapted from a book from Mariana Enriquez. This is the story of a summer, I believe it's like the summer before college. I think that these girls have all graduated high school. It's like a group of friends, and if I'm remembering it correctly, they have been best friends with this boy. It's kind of like a 4-person like friend group, three girls and 1 boy, and they've kind of been best friends with him forever. And our main character is kind of like, this is the summer that we fall in love. Like, this is the summer I'm gonna lose my virginity to him. This is the summer I get a boyfriend. Like, I'm ready to start the fall like a brand new person. But then a new girl moves in, and this new girl is just like everything that these girls aren't. Okay, she's well traveled, she's well read, she has so many cool ideas and experiences to share, and it looks like the boy is starting to fall for her instead of our main character. So it's just kind of like this group of girls and like the revenge that they need to enact on this other girl. They try to catch her in many lies. They try to seduce the boy towards the main character girl. It's just, I had a great time with it. I had no expectations going into it, and I was very surprised. Like I said, it was a Sundance film. I don't know if it's getting a theatrical release. I believe it's an Argentinian film as well. Listen, if you get the chance to watch the version of the Quarry Lake, I would absolutely take it because I had a great time watching it. Question number 7 is a favorite new director. I put Carmen Emmy, who directed Plainclothes like we just talked about. This was his first film debut, directorial debut. His eye is amazing. His style is amazing. Like I said, the movie has just this vintage 90s home video feel to it that I just ate up. I really appreciated it and enjoyed it, and I think that the care that he took for this story was so necessary, and he just did such a good job of it. You could tell that our actors felt comfortable and they felt real. You know, I got to watch like the Q&A after the Sundance screening of it. I'm looking out for Carmen Emmy. I'm really looking out for him. And then the other new favorite director that, I mean, okay, it's not a favorite director, but it's just a debut director that I watched this year that I think did a really good job, was Drew Hancock. He directed Companion. That was another surprising movie to me. I definitely expected something else going into it, and then once the movie starts, I was like, oh, this is not what I expected, but I still had such a great time with it. I think that his direction was very good. It was comical at times. It was very serious and scary at times. Like, he was really able to amp up this female horror story about an android who doesn't know that she's an android. She's just basically a companion, a robot girlfriend for this man, and she has to kind of like learn that about herself and then try to get away. That's the point of Companion. I feel like he handled the horror responsibly while still making it a very enjoyable watch, and I think that's hard to do, especially as like a brand new director. So I think that he did a good job. Congrats, Drew. Question number 8 is newest fictional crush. I just put Smoke/Stack. I'll have either of them. I'll have both of them. I don't care. Question number 9 is newest favorite character. I just wrote down Dr. Ian Kelson, played by Ralph Fiennes in 28 Years Later. I saw that that was the most recent theater movie. No, it was Materialist. I recently rewatched Materialist. So I did see 28 Years Later. I saw it in Dolby, and I had problems with it. I'm not going to go into it right now because I'm going to save that for my monthly wrap up that you're going to see in like a week or two. But Dr. Ian Kelson, he brings back the humanity portion of these 28 Later movies. The thing I really like about in these decade spanning movies is that it's all about the zombies, right? It's like all about these people who have the virus and they're raging and they're trying to get you, and you got to run away from them, and like, oh my gosh, my friend's getting killed, I've got to survive. Like, it's just very it's a very survivalist movie, right? But Dr. Ian Kelson, played by Ralph Fiennes in 28 Years Later, brings the humanity portion back to it. Okay, he has hope for humanity. He's actively working towards memorializing the humanity that was lost after the rage virus came out. And yeah, I would just say that he's like my newest favorite character. I didn't really think about this question too much. I could definitely write down like every person from the last like 5 movies I've just talked about in here because those were my favorite movies so far. But we're gonna move on to question number 10, which was movie that made you cry. And joke's on you, literally joke's on you for thinking that only one movie would make me cry this year. No, I cry in every movie. I've always been like that, and I always will. So I just wrote down a list. I cried in Plainclothes, Sinners, Devil in the Family, The Fall of Ruby Frankie, Brides, Bring Her Back, and Materialists. Question number 11 is movie that made you happy. I wrote down Materialists, One of Them Days, and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Materialist, okay, I got to see this movie early, like back in November, I think, and so I recently rewatched it with my girlfriends like last week, and I had such a great time rewatching it. It is a wonderful movie. Okay, the criticism that it gets is so silly to me. I almost feel like people who haven't even seen the movie are making these critiques. I'm gonna get into it in my wrap up that I talked about already, but this movie genuinely made me happy. It made me like happy for love, and made me like excited to come home and be loved. Like, I just it's a very happy feeling kind of movie. Truly a happily ever after ending. I loved it. One of Them Days was super fun. Okay, super comedically hilarious. Keke Palmer cast her and everything. SZA cast her and everything. She's so gorgeous to look at. I just had a great time watching it. It's about these girlies who have to make rent by the end of the day and the shenanigans that they get into while trying to make up their rent. It's a very like happy friendship movie and great to watch with your friends. And then Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, like how could this not make me happy? Seriously, this was another movie that I got to see early. I think I saw it like back in February, and then I watched it again in IMAX. I had such a great time both times watching this movie, especially when I watched it in theaters, because there was so much that they changed and like took out and added in from the first screening that I saw. So that was like really fun to see. I love being a part of that, and getting the opportunity to be a part of that is super cool. But this movie really just plasters a smile on my face, and it doesn't leave till the end credits. It doesn't even leave until I get home. Like, I have so much fun dissecting these movies and talking about them. There's so much to talk about as well. Tom Cruise is just the actor of all time. Obviously we know this, but to actually see him in action, like doing the things that he talks about and doing the things that we know him to do, like to see it there is just fantastic. It's a great movie theater experience. Speaking of theater experiences, we're going to get into question number 12, which is a question that I made up myself. This is not stolen from the book Freakout tag. Question number 12 is most memorable theater experience. I wrote down two. I wrote down Pride and Prejudice from Joe Wright because it was the 20th year anniversary and they brought it back for like a week in theaters. They need to do this every year. Okay, they always do the Studio Ghibli festival, whatever, where they constantly show those movies every year, all through the summer, all through the fall. I feel like there's other movies that they bring back, like Back to the Future, I feel like is always showing in theaters every year. 2001 Space Odyssey is showing every year. I want them to start bringing back Pride and Prejudice to be able to experience in theaters every year. That was the greatest time I've had so far this year. Just pleasant. I was surrounded by women. I think my boyfriend was the only man in the theater, and we all just like laughed, giggled, and cried. I just had such a good time, you guys. I had such a good time. Everyone was super respectful as well. Like, it was just the greatest theater experience ever to just be surrounded by all these women who love this movie so much. It's gonna make me emotional. I had such a great time. Okay, and then on the opposite side of that coin, we have Bring Her Back from Danny and Michael Philippou. This was an extremely memorable theater experience because it was fucking scary. Oh my god. I don't know what's wrong with these men. I don't know what's wrong with Australia. Let me just start there. I don't know what's wrong with these men. But why do they think they can do this? Like, why do they think they can emotionally torture me like this? First Talk to Me was just like horrid, right? Just like devilish. And then their next movie is Bring Her Back, which is somehow even worse. Like, I didn't know we could do that. I didn't know we could get worse than Talk to Me. And by worse, I mean just like, I felt terrorized. I really felt terrorized during this movie. This is the story of two kids. I can't quite remember how they get there, I'll be honest. I think their father passes away. I think they have no more parents. And so they are in the foster system and they get picked up by this woman played by Sally Hawkins. She's gonna be their foster mom. One of the kids, the daughter, she's blind. And so her older brother is kind of like her best friend. He's helped her whole life. He loves her. He wants to take care of her, and they're in this woman's house. She's very eccentric. She's a little strange, but she's definitely like giving good vibes. Okay, she's kind of like the cool aunt, if you will. She gives them alcohol. I mean, not saying I would ever do that as an aunt, never ever. Don't worry if any of my siblings are watching this. I would never do that to your kids. But she just like wants to be the cool one, right? She has this son that lives in the house, and he's very mysterious and weird. He's kind of nonverbal. He acts out really randomly with violence that is so terrifying to see. Like, the demise of the story is just, it's evil. Like, honestly, that's the only way I can explain it, is that it's evil in a way that is so watchable. Because I've seen movies that feel like evil and like deplorable, and I don't want to look at this anymore. I want to turn off my TV. This is the kind of evil that you can't look away from. The reason why this is such a memorable theater experience is just because how detrimental it was to my health. Obviously, there are some really scary scenes in it, but I think that there's one moment right at the end, kind of like the conclusion of everything. There's one moment with one of the kids where they're just kind of breaking down that just gutted me, like literally tore my heart out of my chest, and I will never forget that feeling. Like, I have to move on because I can't think about it too much right now. It's gonna be too much for me. Ooh, that poor kid. Anyways, okay. Question number 13 is most beautiful movie you've purchased this year. This is obviously a lot easier with books because there's a lot of really beautiful covers that come out, a lot of alternative covers for books. You know, hardcover comes out, the sprayed edge is like whatever. I honestly don't feel like I have any good responses to this question, but I just pulled out the 3 A24 movies that I've bought this year from the A24 shop. Oh, that's backwards. So we have Heretic, A Different Man, and Sing Sing. This constantly rises up in the ranks of being my favorite movie of last year. I loved A Different Man so much, and I haven't even opened it, so I haven't looked at like all of the cool supplemental postcards that they put in here and everything. Heretic was not a great movie, but I had super fun with it, and honestly, it's super relatable to my life. I feel I definitely related a lot to this movie, and that's part of the reason why I like it so much. I think that the cast is amazing, the dialogue is great, screenwriting good. And then we have Sing Sing, which I have not gotten to yet. This is one that is exponentially, like, it needs to be watched immediately. Other than these three, like, the only other Blu-rays that I've bought are just basic ass Blu-rays, like nothing special, so that's why I chose these as like the most beautiful movie you've purchased this year. They're cool editions, okay? The A24 shop, they go hard. And then the final question number 14, is what movies do you need to watch before the year ends? So we've already talked about my most anticipated movies for the last half of the year, and there are plenty of movies that have already come out this year that I want to watch, but I'm not dying to watch them. They're not like 5-star amazing movies that I just somehow missed in theaters. I feel like I've seen all of those already, and any movie that's already come out this year that I haven't seen yet, I'm not dying to watch any of them. Like, I'll get to them when I get to them, kind of thing. So what I did for this question was just make a list of 2024 films that I missed, like 2024 films that I missed in theaters that are just like waiting on my list on Netflix or HBO Max or like whatever. I need to watch these movies. Okay, they came out last year and it's been long enough. Like, girl, get on your game, watch these movies. So first we have Nickel Boys from Ramel Ross. Next we have We Live in Time from John Crowley. The Sympathizer, which is actually a mini-series from Park Chan-wook, who is one of my favorite directors of all time. Queer from Luca Guadagnino, my favorite director of all time. Can't believe I haven't seen this. I think I'm honestly waiting to get the Blu-ray, like the 4K edition from the A24 shop, because that one looks really nice. So I think I'm just kind of waiting on that. I believe it's like pre-order right now, and I don't want to pre-order it. I want to order it so I can get a postcard in the time that I want the postcard instead of whenever the movie releases. Anyways, whatever. And then we have The Front Room from Max and Sam Eggers, Winner from Suzanne Fogel, and Seeking Mavis Beacon from Jasmine Jones. Nickel Boys was talked about a lot during awards season, so it's about time I know what's going on. I know the cinematography goes hard, and I'm excited to see that. We Live in Time stars the loves of my life, Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. I know it's gonna gut me and be such a terribly sad movie, and that's the reason why I haven't watched it yet, because I don't feel like crying, I guess. The Sympathizer, I don't know what's stopping me from watching this one. Probably because it's a miniseries and I'm just really bad at watching TV and watching miniseries unless it's Love Island. Queer, I missed this in theaters and I hate myself for it, and like I said, I'm just waiting for the 4K A24 edition to come out so I can purchase that. Luca Guadagnino is just my favorite director. Like, anything he does, anything he touches, I fear I'm gonna fall in love with it, and I'm ready to be destroyed by Queer, just like I know he's going to. The Front Room, this was like an A24 horror movie that didn't do very well. It's got very low ratings, but it stars Brandy and I love her to death, and I think that the concept of the movie is very scary. From what I remember, she's about to have a baby and then her mother-in-law moves in, and her mother-in-law is like evil in some way. I have no idea. The trailer is very confusing, but it also seems like it's a comedic horror, and I love horror comedy, so I'm excited for that one. It's written and directed by Robert Eggers' brothers, which is pretty cool, so I'm excited to see what they want to say. Winner from Susan Fogel. This is the story of Reality Winner, who I believe I've seen almost every documentary and film adaptation of her and her story. I don't want to go into it right now. If you don't know who she is, just look her up. I think she's someone to look up to, and this is just yet again another film adaptation of her story, and I think that this one is set to be more of a positive outlook on her story. I've seen a lot of negative outlooks on her story, negative adaptations about her story, and Winner seems to be kind of that horse in the race to portray her story positively. And then finally, Seeking Mavis, I can't say this, Seeking Mavis Beacon. I don't know who that is. I never used Mavis Beacon growing up. I believe it was like a typing software, like to learn how to type on a computer. I never used that, but this is a documentary that seems really cool. I believe that they are looking for the model of Mavis Beacon, but this is supposed to be like a twisty documentary of these two girls who go out to seek Mavis Beacon and try to find the model who was on these covers, and I don't know how it's gonna go. I actually have heard that it's got really low ratings, but I love documentaries, and I was going to add a documentary feature to these questions. Off the top of my head, I would definitely say Devil in the Family, The Rise and Fall of Ruby Frankie, however that's titled, was the best documentary I've seen this year. Bad Influence The Dark Side of Kid Influencing was another really good one. And those are ones that came out this year. Seeking Mavis Speaking came out last year. And it's just a documentary I've missed that I want to see. But yeah, so that is my mid-year film freakout tag. Feel free to use these questions and answer them all for yourself in a video. Absolutely. It's really fun to reflect on everything that you've watched in the middle of the year and get excited for the upcoming releases for the last half of the year. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, especially if you are a returning subscriber or a returning viewer clicking on another video of mine. That is so cool of you. Welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm excited for the next month to be pumping out more videos for you. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing so you don't miss any movie or book content that I make in the future. If you like this video, give it a like. All of my social media are in the description below, including a Twitter, which is like a film Twitter account that I've had for years and kept secret from all of you. So if you want to follow me on there, go ahead. And yeah, I guess I'll just see you in the next one. Bye! Mwah!